One of the things that really got to me was the death of Stoic in the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I always thought he was such an amazing character, and it was really heartbreaking to see him go. His death was tragic, but I think it also played a big role in Hiccup's growth as a character. Stoic was a true leader who took great pride in being the chief of Berk. He really cared about his village and acted with honor and humility. You could tell he loved his role and did his best for his people. That being said, Stoic did have some serious flaws. His strong sense of duty often made him pretty rigid. He was very committed to traditional Viking values, which is admirable, but sometimes it got in the way of what Berk really needed. There were moments when his belief in doing things the Viking way clashed with the changing circumstances around him. A great example of this is in the first movie when Hiccup tried to warn him about the dangers of finding the dragon's nest.
Oh, no, Dad, no, please. It's not what you think. You don't know what you're up against. It's like nothing you've ever seen. Dad, please.
Stoic ignored Hiccup's concerns, and his stubbornness nearly put the whole village in danger. It showed that his commitment to tradition sometimes made him close-minded and unwilling to consider other options. Eventually, he started to change and show that he could take advice and adapt when it was necessary. This ability not only made him a great warrior but also a capable leader. He learned to let go of some of his stubbornness and opened up to listening to others, which was crucial for his growth. His journey was about more than just being a strong chief. It was about evolving as a person and becoming more understanding. When it came to his role as a father, things were pretty complicated. Stoic truly loved his son Hiccup, but their relationship was rocky at the beginning. Stoic had a specific idea in his mind about what a Viking chief's son should be: strong, bold, and fearsome. Unfortunately, Hiccup didn't fit that mold at all. He was completely different from the other Vikings and didn't embody the qualities Stoic envisioned for him. This difference created a lot of tension between them, because his expectations put a strain on their relationship, and there were moments of frustration on both sides. Hiccup wanted to prove himself to his father, but he struggled because he didn't see himself as the brave warrior Stoic wanted him to be. And Stoic, in his own frustration, sometimes made hurtful comments that made Hiccup feel even more like an outsider. There was a particularly painful moment when Stoic said to Hiccup that he wasn't even his son.
You're not a Viking. You're not my son.
This conflict stemmed from their differing mindsets and the way they handled their struggles. While Stoic was grounded in traditional Viking values, Hiccup was more sensitive and open-minded, which made it hard for them to connect. Hiccup often felt misunderstood, and Stoic didn't always see how much he was putting pressure on his son to conform to an ideal that Hiccup could never meet. But as the story evolves, Stoic began to accept Hiccup for who he truly was. He started to recognize his son's unique strengths and abilities, realizing that Hiccup's innovative thinking and compassion made him a worthy leader in his own right. This was a big turning point for Stoic, as he moved away from his rigid expectations and opened his heart to understanding Hiccup's perspective. Another significant transformation for Stoic was his relationship with dragons. At first, he viewed dragons in the typical Viking way, as terrifying enemies that needed to be fought and killed. This was a common belief among his people, shaped by years of conflict and fear. However, thanks to Hiccup's influence and the experiences they shared, Stoic began to see dragons in a new light.
Thank you for saving my son.
He learned to appreciate them as intelligent creatures rather than being threats. This shift in attitude was huge for him. Eventually, he even ended up having a dragon as a pet, which symbolized his change of heart and acceptance of Hiccup's views. Stoic's legacy is one of love, sacrifice, and personal growth. He started the story as a rigid, stubborn Viking, set in his ways and clinging to traditional beliefs. But through his journey, he evolved into a more compassionate leader and a great father. His character development is one of the most touching aspects of the story. In a powerful act of bravery, he ultimately gave his own life to save Hiccup. This selfless sacrifice not only highlighted the depth of his love for his son but also cemented his character as one of the most beloved figures in the franchise.